Once again, we're back on Lutherans Alive with Michelle Kunkle. Thanks, Michelle, for taking the time to come in and share your perspectives on Christian education and youth ministry.
My pleasure.
Before the break, we were talking a little bit about the lay of the land, so to speak, for churches and programs, and that school districts don't always line up. Sometimes you might have 2 or 3 different school districts that feed children and young people into your program. And that can be a challenge in terms of helping to build relationships or to have some unity in the group. How does that work at Holy Trinity?
Well, we do have 2 schools that I'm aware of within our youth group currently. And what we try to do is they've known each other from going to church a little bit. And usually they have at least more than one person that's going to the same school as them. So you have these little crowds of couple from here and couple from there. Mm-hmm. But whenever we get together and play our games, that usually breaks the ice a little bit, and they get to know each other. And because they're laughing and having a good time, they form friendships easily.
Yeah, I think the more time we spend together, too, the easier that becomes. And as you say, to have a weekly program can be a real strength. Even if a person can't make every meeting, there's still enough consistency there to have those relationships flourish.
Yes.
We were thinking also a little bit about mentioning some of the educational opportunities there are for leaders in church situations like directors of Christian education or youth ministry. And you've been involved, haven't you, in some of the local offerings here in our Southwestern Pennsylvania Synod?
Yes, we're very blessed that the Synod has its own Christian Ed committee and pays close attention to those things. We had a Christian education retreat just a couple weekends ago, and I was fortunate enough to be asked to help lead one of the workshops that was offered there. So the workshop that I helped lead was about parental involvement and how important that is to have children who can be educated in the faith. And from my understanding, that's going to be available currently on the website, not quite yet. The PowerPoints that I used, I had emailed to the Synod. They're going to put that up, and we can do the workshops. We've been asked by the Synod if we could come out and present the same workshop to local churches. So that's available, and if anyone would want us to do that, we can come out and do that.
Mm-hmm. I think that's important that people know that there are resources and support available, because the Christian education program of a congregation is a vital part of what we do. And I guess we can give you the opportunity to answer that question directly at this point. Why is it important for young people to have an opportunity to participate in the Christian education program, that ongoing education in Bible or in their faith?
Well, for me personally, I've seen what the world can do. And whenever you plant those seeds of faith young, they really start deep in your heart. And whenever you grow and you face the challenges of adulthood or teenagers, the change in adolescence and things like that, they can really draw on their faith to get them through the hard times. And in times of suffering, in times of pain, in times of hardships, that faith will get us through. And we also know through faith that we have a family in faith. And so it gives us a connection to either a local church or a home church. Maybe when people are away for college or whatever, they know they can think back of these people that care about them, that are praying for them, that still love them. And I think that knowing that we see Christ in each other, that's what faith is all about, that we carry that seed of faith in us and we are Christ to one another. And I think that's what Christian education is all about. We share those stories so that the faith is planted in people's hearts and on their lips and in their strength and their mind. And we praise God that, He is always with us and going to see us through no matter what.
And I think that all of those truths are demonstrated in the Christian community, and the young people that have the opportunity to participate in it see it in the people. I mean, we started the program today with your sharing the people that were inspirational to you. And we mentioned, now you're in that position. Have you had that opportunity yet to have a young person come up to you and say, I'm thinking about whether or not a position in the church or becoming a pastor is something that might be a realistic option for me? And what do you say? How do you respond to people that are open to that kind of a path?
Well, we had one young man at our church who I can't take credit for because he was already in college when I came along, but he feels a strong call to ministry and has been working close with the youth program and with our church so that he can gain some experience and some understanding of what that means. And it's a pleasure to have him. But we also have a lot of people who are very well of their talents and their time and their treasure and offer it graciously. And so I always put volunteers to work whenever I get them. And so that's another great resource of the church is that people realize they have a talent in something and are more than willing to give that talent to something that they feel makes a difference for the faith and for the community and the church.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that the church needs to always be postured to be open to and welcoming the people who are expressing that kind of an interest or that kind of a direction in their lives. And we were talking during the break about one of those relatively new developments in our synod with the LYO, the Lutheran Youth Organization, coming into a kind of a new phase in our synod. Can you describe for us what's going on with that and what maybe the hopes and the vision is for the new Lutheran Youth Organization?
Certainly. Last summer we had an initial meeting that they wanted to reinvent the LYO in our synod. From my understanding, it had been here at one point in time, but then the leadership dropped off and it kind of got scattered to the wind. And so we have Pastor Aaron Smith, Pastor Sarah Lee Faulkner right here in the synod office that are trying to put that back together again and get the youth from all the synod involved and together. And our church hosted that meeting, and our youth wants to be involved. And so we're hoping that we can find a time that we're able to meet again and get together. I know they had a lock-in over Martin Luther King Day, and I'm just waiting to hear when the next time we all get together. And it's a wonderful opportunity for all of our youth to kind of get to know each other and really branch out that family and faith to see that how far it stretches out.
And of course, one of the keys to that also is to enable our young people to step into roles of leadership, to take on more intentional responsibility, organization, planning, and coordinating a lot of the activities and the programs of the youth ministry so that they can have that firsthand experience and live into those visions going forward. So it had to be exciting to be kind of as the host congregation right there to see it beginning to take, those seeds beginning to take root again.
It was wonderful to see how many youth came to that meeting and how positive their faith is and how involved they want to be and that they're ready to take on the responsibility to grow this into a ministry for them.
I think one of the other growth areas that youth can experience is when we give them the opportunity to experience things beyond the local congregation. You mentioned youth from your congregation going to Youth Fest, which of course is that spring event that takes place at one of our local church camps, Camp Lutheran. Can you share a little bit what your thoughts are about giving our young people those experiences beyond the congregation?
Oh, yes. Youth Fest, this is my second year going to Youth Fest. There's a committee that ranges from the people of the Synod that put together the curriculum and the events that happen that weekend, and we are facilitated by Camp Lutheran that we can go there and use their space. And every year we go, there's some kind of curriculum involved where the kids are experiencing in many different ways, very similar to the rotation model, where they come in and they have some hands-on things, they have some gathering time and worship time together, and they do a lot of the planning themselves, that we have a lot of youth on the committee that kind of guide and steer us. So it's a very good event, and we're looking forward to returning and being part of that again this year.
From the local, outside the congregation experiences to the national youth gatherings, there are so many ways that our young people can truly be more and more a part of the church. It's exciting just to think about. Michelle, we've already come to the end of our time today, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to share a bit of your personal ministry at Holy Trinity and your excitement about the ministry that you're a part of there. Thanks so much for taking the time to come in today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Great to have you here. It's good to have you with us today on Lutherans Alive as well. We hope you've enjoyed this opportunity to hear about the work and the ministry of one Director of Christian Education and Youth Ministry in the Irwin area. Until next time, this is Lutherans Alive. Good day, and God bless you.